Hey, if anybody watches this, you're obviously not watching it live because I'm looking at my stats and nobody's watching, which I expect since this is the first Cool Toys live stream from the studio. And I really couldn't get the big camera set up, so I set up an old Microsoft webcam with my Mac. Let me show you kind of what's going on here. So here we have the big studio camera, and then I've got my Mac. And this is today's project. This is about the only thing I can work on, all things going. So the this ViewSonic projector died. The lamp went out. The bulb is hopefully arriving today from Amazon, which, by the way, I'm guessing with the stock market chaos, Amazon's with a few stocks it's going to do well because I can't do anything but order from Amazon. This is like house arrest, except prisoners can have stuff delivered. So fortunately, I got enough cruddy food to eat for weeks, and but not a lot to do. It started raining this morning. I intended to get through a whole list of things to do around the house, but most of them are outdoors. If you've watched old Cool Toys or seen some of the Beach Street News stuff, one of the agreements my wife and I made, whether misogynistic, sexist, however you want to call it, inside the house, with the exception of the studios, are in the garage, are hers. And she takes great care of it, so there's not really much for me to do in the house. Fix the projector. Need a new lamp. And I started fiddling with this live stream a little bit ago, and as I'm looking at it, what I see is this Cool Toys here backwards, and I realize that's because it's giving me the camera eye view reversed, and when it films, I hope, anybody that's watching this live from somewhere else will see it completely different. In fact, I probably could pull it up on my phone and see what it looks like just for fun, because that is how bored I am. And for those of you that watch Cool Toys, you know I fly jets, and today I was supposed to have a nice, easy out and back, my favorite kind of flying, home every day, just good stuff, and I can't do it. So this is, as the letter says, an overabundance of caution due to my close contact, tertiary contact is the correct word, of some people who have been working on coronavirus patients. So I don't know if it's overabundance or ridiculous, but not my call, unfortunately. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here for 14 days not getting to go play with any really cool toys. So for the show, if you get this and you go back and watch any of the old episodes, it was just me talking about one or two items at a time. And my buddy decided that I'm definitely not the person who should be making that decision by myself, because according to him, I'm a little boring. So he's a skater, surfer, and you'll learn more about him later. But so it'll give us a different opinion, different voice on the show about things, which also means we're going to try to grow it to at least a 30-minute, if not a full hour, kind of a talk show. We'll talk about all the toys. And one of the first things right off the bat, we each went out and looked for our first cool toy. I went out and grabbed a Mercedes SLK for under $5,000. Everything working, a few chips in the paint. You know, the interior's obviously worn for a 15-year-old or 18-year-old car. And but little supercharged motor did an alignment on it, and the thing goes like gangbusters. So I'm having a blast in it. And I'll tell you what happens with it later. So, and then he went out and got a rat rod. So we'll tell you how those rate on Cool Toys later on. And that's the kind of stuff I would rather be out doing if I can't go flying. And I am okay, so there's one watching. That's me. Oh, there's somebody watching. Well, I'll be danged. Hey, hello, whoever you are. I can't read it on the little screen because I got it on two screens so I can see through the camera too. Yeah, so Cool Toys, that is kind of neat. So Cool Toys, the way you see it is correct, but I see this in reverse, and I see my shirt in reverse. So I'm getting the camera perspective as if I'm looking in the mirror. So that's a little weird for me because I am usually working on stage, and I do work as an actor. So I am used to seeing it from the camera's perspective and understanding that when somebody tells me to go to the camera left, that means to my right instead of the mirrored effect like I'm seeing now. So kind of cool. So I got to thank YouTube. This is pretty neat. We normally use another service for hosting our videos, primarily on the website. But YouTube was free to do this. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I don't know if anybody's watching. I'm going to see if I can text my brother and tell him that I'm on right now and see if he'll even pay attention. But because he's not quarantined at home. His office shut down, so he's working from home. So he might not be able to look. But it's always worth a try just to see what's going on. Doing a board out of my mind live stream. So how do I take this? Oh, there we go, share message. And let's see. So I just sent it out to a couple people, see if I can get more than 2 to watch, because I think one of them is this phone. Oh, we got somebody interested. Look at this. Let me go back here to YouTube and share that, message it to Craig. So anyway, bored out of my mind, YouTube Studio or CoolToys Studios. Thanks to YouTube for making this free so I can play with this little experiment. Even if nobody's watching and if you can't hear me, if you want to talk, apparently I can chat with people. I see 2 people are watching, but they're not typing anything. So I guess you don't have any questions about how bored I am. But tried to clean the hot tub. Didn't work because it rained. Can't sneak out and go surfing because it rained. And figure surfing's safe because I'm usually at least 10 feet away from everybody, and that's kind of the requirement. That's about all I can really do. It's not a good thing. So, what else is going on in CoolToys world? Got a broken projector for the screening room. Got Mercedes SLK we talked about. Bug Assault. We got. We're gonna play with that some more. There's a new, better one. See, I'm bored. You know what? I can't even. Where'd my coffee go? I took it out to the other room. No. Oh well. So what else is going on crazy in the world? There are tents popping up at hospitals, like MASH units, according to people in the know, to help treat the coronavirus thing as it expands rapidly. The stock market came up a little bit today. I think it's kind of bouncing around. We'll see. I personally think that this will go deep, but it will not be long. That's the good part. And I think once the peak happens, whenever that is, and I don't know how to define that, but if you are following any of this flatten the curve stuff, I'm kind of getting to agree with it. And unfortunately, that's why I'm here, in fact, is to try to flatten the curve. So I wish I was as talented as some of the other people out there that can play music. There's a guitar back here. And see, I looked in the mirror and it didn't work. The guitar is there and I know it's there. And yet I looked on the screen and I wanted to go camera opposite, which does not work. Anyway, well, shoot. I'm just going to do this every day at 12 o'clock and I'll try to think of things that I can talk about. I don't know what to talk about. So, but this could be just a talk show of all the people that are quarantined or people that are bored, people that aren't at work, because there's a lot going on out there. In fact, I think it's funny. We're not supposed to get within 6 or 8 feet in restaurants. The other day, last time I was out and about, were restricted to 50% capacity. And I went to CPK in Las Vegas, and instead of spreading everybody out every other table, they closed the restaurant down to one little corner because they only had 2 waitresses anyway, and they crammed everybody in that same little section. So it sort of defeated the purpose. And you look at supermarkets, they only allow so many people in at a time, and they're restricting what you can buy. And you get there and there's a line, and where's everybody standing? 2 feet apart. It's like the old joke about German skiers, they don't move closer, make the line more efficient, and and it really is true. I mean, that's why I like German cars, because they're very efficient and effective. But in a time like this, getting that close is probably what is leading to the bigger problems. And we are a very social society. So, it's a very interesting thing. But so this one, I think, will only be on YouTube. And then the rest, I guess I'll just live stream them all to YouTube. Since YouTube's giving this to us for free, if it saves the recordings, this is all a new experiment. It's all new stuff. So I do have some classes I'm going to take online just for fun. So I've got something to do later today. But right now, if you can see this window right here. In fact, let me show you a little bit about the studio. So for those of you that want to build a home studio, this is where Cool Toys started in Beach Street. It's a very simple studio. So if you look, I've got a Canon. This is a XF205. It's a professional grade camera. It shoots BT 709, which is basically broadcast grade high def. And then I've got a little key light that goes in front of it. So when we're shooting, it kind of looks like this. And this light makes it so there's not too big of a shadow behind me. Now, if you look over here, you can see these kind of funny panels. Most of you that have seen a studio or are trying to build one will recognize that as an acoustic panel. But if you look at that picture, that is also an acoustic panel. Hidden behind there is fiberglass. And so if you come around this way, same thing. There's the studio door. It's a solid core ceiling door. And this little webcam doesn't really focus very good. So, but then if you look over here, I've got a big double door. And even though this whole room is soundproof, that double door is glass, double pane glass with a seal around it. And that white muslin on there gives it the properties like a key light off to the side, just like that dome up there gives it this soft light that sort of lights the room very evenly, and it gets rid of a lot of shadows. And you can see as we go around, we've got more audio panels. We've got lights hanging from the ceiling. We've actually got a full-time microphone sitting up here by the fan. And then we've got the Cool Toys sign there for Cool Toys stuff. Green screen we can pull across, and another one of these panels. And you can see how thick this is. This is all acoustic paneling to get this room quiet and get rid of the echo, so we don't sound like we're talking in a tube quite as bad as normal. Now, we probably do need a little bit more on the ceiling. We've got a little rug on the floor here, and so that helps on the desk. And this is where we started out shooting. And this is seasons 1 and 2 of Cool Toys, and the pilot for what we're changing it from. We're not calling it season 3 anymore. You'll see it on the website in the next few days if you check it out, that we will call it Cool Toys version 2, because we'll have 2 people. It'll be a completely different show, much better thing. And look at that. My mom, my brother, all those people, nobody even bothered to click on. Wow. So you're here with me. They're not. I've been online now for close to 15 minutes, and I think that's probably wasting enough bandwidth for today, since nobody's really watching. But I will come back at noon tomorrow, and I'll do some more work on this on the website so other people know. And hopefully I will see you here. Because if you don't show up, I'm really bored. Really, really, really bored. And this is only day 1. If you're going to get 2 weeks off from work and not be allowed to go into the office, it can't happen at a worse time when they close Disneyland. They close all the ski resorts, so I can't cheat and go skiing. I can't go to Disneyland, which I wouldn't do anyway because of the crowds. But normally, if you're not quarantined and you just don't go to work for 2 weeks, there's lots of stuff to do in Southern California. And even me, usually with this studio, I can come up with stuff to do and shoot. But all I can do now is order off Amazon, see what shows up, and see if anything's cool for the next show. But since we are going to change the format, I need to have somebody else here and don't want to make things worse. So here I am by myself talking to, unfortunately right now, myself. So hopefully tomorrow will be better. And 15 minutes is plenty. Tomorrow maybe we can talk longer if somebody else shows up. See ya.